Thomas Ades may be well aware of the challenges he's presented the singers with, but what do they think of the piece?
I mean, it's been a tricky journey.
Why don't we all say what you really think?
I had my doubts, I have to say.
I don't mean about the production.
No.
Time
I'm talking about the piece. I first started getting the music and I thought, well, I liked my part. I thought it was full of character. I looked at the other parts and thought they're also the right character. But then gradually when we started rehearsing, I thought, I'm not sure this is going to work, because we did each little bit.
Yes.
The first time I got an inkling that maybe there was something more there was when we ran a section. And the actual pulse of the music, the sort of line, if you like, the dramatic line is there. But an opera's made up of parts, and I thought, you know, to put the parts together. And now we have the orchestra. I find it astounding.
Initially, I was surprised that they hadn't just used the Shakespeare as a libretto. My part is quite high for a mezzo. So again, you're just judging from sort of black marks on a page, and it's almost impossible to gauge what it's going to be like. And also, you know, you normally approach a role with so many sort of references already there at the back of your mind. Even if you've not consciously sought them, you'll have known which type of singer did the role before, heard recordings. So that literally just having a book, a piece, you know, some pieces of paper presented to you, and that's the fresh start of something. The sort of building on it when you're rehearsing and you're building relationships with other singers, you hear their music, which of course you haven't heard before, and it's been absolutely thrilling. It's my first experience of doing a brand new opera.
Wow.
Definitely one I'd want to repeat.
It's been mine as well, and I felt the same about you about the text. I was worried about the text to start with, and also I thought my role was very high. But I talked to Tom about that, and now I'm convinced that he's probably right about it, and he wouldn't change it, and he's got very good reasons not to change things in a way, because I feel the piece is put together organically, and if he was to unpick one bit, the whole thing would have to be reworked, and it would take him. It's taken him 2.5 years to write it, and it would take him another 2 years to change it. And you can hear it's amazingly old-fashioned and 19th century and symphonic in the way that bits of music are taken up and repeated underneath, so you can barely know that they're there. And Tom's pointed things out to me, which I just. It's very bound together.
But I mean, the music offers so much that actually you wouldn't need the Shakespeare on top, I don't think, because then it does, I think. So I mean, actually the simpler lines I think really work. I
mean, I compare it, if I think of Midsummer Night's Dream, which is the other Shakespeare opera I've been in, the Benjamin Britten, it's got wonderful music in it, but I feel it's patchy and doesn't hang together. And for example, the Lovers' music in Midsummer Night's Dream is very unconvincing. I feel this is, I mean, of course, I've only been listening to it for 4 weeks, and it's a big thing to say, but I feel it's a much bigger arc. And I think the Shakespeare words for Britain did box him in Midsummer Night's Dream.
I was worried. I think Meredith's libretto is very clever and wonderful, and I think I've come around to what you two think now about it. And funny, I had the same worries about the tessitura, the height as well. That at first I thought, I'll try not to... Yeah, I'm sorry that you're laughing.
I think all of us feel that way. It's like, well, what the heck?
When everybody was feeling that, I thought, well, maybe they're just going to, you know, put it all down a third.
It's the wrong clef.
I wanted to see at first if I could get it into my body. And then I intended to object. I thought, right, I'm going to get into my body, and then I said, look, see, I can't do it.
Yes.
But after a couple of months of struggling and screwing the music up and ironing it and screwing it up and ironing it...
When I first got the music, I was terrified of it, because I can't practice it. I couldn't practice it enough to really feel what it was going to be like in my body, to learn the notes. I had to, you know, I would just look at it, and then I'd, you know, kind of crawl up into a little ball for a week.
Didn't you say that you would never have accepted it had you seen the score before you signed the contract?
Well, probably. Right? I mean, you know, you think, oh, well, no, this is impossible.
I thought that about your role when I first looked at it. Nobody's going to sing.
And nobody heard a squeak from you. Everyone else was rushing backwards and forwards. Where's the music?
But I thought the same thing, you know, that I would learn it and then realize I'd learn the notes, and then I'd be able to say, no, this is not singable.
But if you can't sing it, then you know that nobody else would be able to sing it.
Well, no,
so they
I'm
might
not sure,
have to
but
rewrite
you know, it actually is vocal. I mean, the other thing I was very worried about is that the first scene is by far the most treacherous thing I've ever seen, and then it gets my role goes lower and lower
Same for me.
through the whole opera, but not having gotten the third act until whenever we did. I was really terrified because I thought if I have to do the same amount of singing in that same tessitura in the third act, then maybe I will hurt myself.
I was trying to explain to my dad the other day, trying to prime him before he comes, because now, if he turns to me and says, I really don't like it, I'll be irritated. But it's a marvellous piece, and I don't know whether that's because we've spent the time with it, but I want my dad to feel like
Simon Keenlyside and others on the pleasures and perils of Tom Ades's virtuosic new score.